Kia ora, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, District Councillor Charles Sturt says he stands by his decision to vote against the fluoride referendum and will go to the next election openly opposing fluoridation. From Monday, all Rotorua City Ride buses will be fully accessible to wheelchairs. And in sport, the Steamers hope to continue their winning pre-season form when they face Counties Manukau on Thursday. But first, police have released CCTV images of the man suspected of the aggravated robbery at the West End Tavern on Old Taupo Road last Thursday. At about 12:30 p.m, a man armed with a baseball bat managed to take money from the till before running from the tavern across Old Taupo Road and into York Street, where he was seen getting into a white vehicle. Police would like to hear from anyone who can identify the man or may have seen him either before or after the robbery. Rotorua District Councillor and Lakes District Health Board member Charles Sturt says he stands by his decision to vote against fluoridation of the city's water supply. Mr Sturt had been criticised by Health Board Chairman Derek Shaw for voting against a public referendum on fluoridation of the water supply as a Health Board member. However, Mr Sturt told City News that he stands by his decision and will go to the next election openly opposing fluoridation.
Now, do you think this fluoridation's gone away, or do you think it's going to be pushed into council again?
Well, no, I think it will come again. And I'm more than happy to stand on my record, my track record of engaging the community, and I'll go to the next council election and say quite clearly I am anti-fluoride and I do not want it in all our water supplies. And those who are pro-fluoride, put your name up against them, we'll see how you get on.
Right,
we'll
Charles.
see whether you reflect the community or you don't.
Locals and visitors to the Polynesian Spa have been experiencing the benefits of the newly completed mineral pool. Polynesian Spa sales and marketing manager Simone de Jong says guests now have access to both renowned acidic and alkaline mineral waters for ultimate bathing wellness.
The priest spring was actually named after a Catholic priest called Father Mahoney, who travelled down from Tauranga back in the 1800s. He had to be carried by his friends because he suffered from a severe form of arthritis, and after he bathed in this particular spring water, he claimed to be cured of the arthritis and managed to walk back to Tauranga.
Oh, that's an amazing story, isn't it?
Yeah, so lots of people come here still today to help with their sore muscles, especially people that have arthritis and rheumatism. They seem to really benefit from it.
From Monday, all Rotorua City Ride buses will be fully accessible, making it easier for passengers in wheelchairs, with prams, or those who are not quite so mobile to get on and off. Bay of Plenty Regional Councillor and Chairman of the Public Transport Subcommittee, Lyle Thurston, says the entire City Ride bus fleet now using the larger fully accessible buses. A new timetable is necessary, so from Monday, buses will leave either 5 or 10 minutes earlier or later than before. To find out if the time their regular bus leaves will change, people should look out for the updated timetables on the buses from next week, or in advance of that, you can go to Baybus, one word, baybus.co.nz. And in sport tonight, the Steamers hope to continue their winning form when they face Counties Manukau and Whakatane on Thursday. The Steamers thrashed Hawke's Bay 35-0 at the International Stadium last week, so are confident going into Thursday's pre-season match. If you're over that way in Whakatane, kick-off is at Rugby Park at 2:45. Meanwhile, local businessman and Cobb & Co owner Chris Churchwood says the franchise is happy to be one of the sponsors of the team for a second season. Mr Churchwood says everything the Steamers represent is close to the heart of the Cobb & Co philosophy.
Well, it's important because, obviously front of the jersey for us is an important part with the guys. They represent us well, good strong fellowship and all that sort of stuff. It's everything about average New Zealanders and Kiwis bringing everyone together for a game and for sports, really. So it's something we like. We just like that alignment that we have with them.
Are you a rugby fan yourself?
Yeah, mate, love it. Love the game, love the guys, and just like to see what they're doing. I've got to say, this year the team that the guys have got together is sensational. I look at them and it's really exciting. If they don't win this year, I'll be pretty hacked off, but I imagine they're going to go all the way this year. So.
To the weather update now. Tonight, more fine weather, which is good news. It will be a little cold though. Southwesterlies with an overnight low of 4. Tomorrow, Wednesday, brief showers around midday, then fine again. Westerlies, a high of 13 and a low of 2. And looking out to Thursday, cloud increasing with the odd late shower. Northwesterlies strengthening and a high of 13 with a low of 7. The marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Wednesday, southwesterlies 15 knots tending westerly during the morning, rising to southwesterly 20 knots early afternoon, then easing to 15 knots in the evening and 10 knots at night. waves less than half a metre or less. Fair visibility though, and a few showers early afternoon, otherwise fine weather. And remember, for program listings, you can check out our website. That's tvrotorua.co.nz. Or, of course, you can head to our Facebook page, TV Rotorua. And still to come tonight on City News, we talk with Eat Street business owner Paul Croucher about the final stages of the street's development. Alan meets Roger Martin from the Happy You Cycle Tours. And we find out about Mike King's visit to schools later this week and meet his co-host on some of the talks, local student and fundraiser Adriana Cutley.
Well, if you've been down to Eat Street recently, you'll know that there's been some wonderful developments happening there, particularly with the awning and the large structure going up outside so you can enjoy yourself outdoors as well. One of the places here that you might want to come and have a look at, and I say that with quite a bit of emphasis, you probably will want to come and have a look at it. Croucher Breweries is a born and bred, locally owned and operated awesome place to be. And I'm with Paul. Kia ora, Paul. Now, you tell me a little bit about the story here.
Oh, Croucher Brewing is a little brewery based here in Rotorua, and we've been trying to sell our beer or internationally really for quite a long time, but we had a little bit of trouble getting traction in Rotorua, so we started our own little craft beer pub here in Rotorua called Brew, and that's where we are right now.
Nice. So how's it been? Has it been a challenge setting this up?
It was a challenge. We started off pretty undercapitalised, but Rotorua's really embraced it, and it's been a beautiful, huge growth phase for our business. It's been a great front of house or shop front for our business, and it's a nice business in its own right.
Tell me a little bit about your products.
We've always tried to make beer that's not just the thirst-quenching beer that you have after mowing the lawn. It's got a lot more flavour. It's quite intense. So a lot of the people who are used to drinking Steinlager, Tui, those sort of beers, they might not even recognise our beers as such. But the people who've done a lot of travelling, or perhaps the wine drinkers who've got bored with the boring nature of traditional beers, get a lot of pleasure out of the intense flavour of ours.
Any secret ingredients?
Oh, I think the secret ingredient is malt, water, hops and yeast. So we don't try and enhance flavour. Every so often we'll make a fruit beer or something like that, but we're trying to go back to the age-old way of making beer, making it properly, and that's why we call it craft beer. We've crafted these beers as opposed to just put something together for people to get drunk with. That's not our reason for being at all.
Tell me a little bit about any international connections that you've been able to make, or have you been able to go overseas with your beers?
We have. It's exciting times right now. We've just sent a container load off to Canada for their Christmas Advent calendar. You get a different international beer for the 24 days leading up to Christmas, and our beer was chosen as one of the New Zealand beers. So the container load going there, and then half a container load going to Australia just today.
Wow.
So making some good progress.
Congratulations. The development here on Eat Street, how has that enhanced your business?
Oh, it's terrific. Yes. Well, our business has been growing on a nice steady rate anyway, but certainly it's enhanced the offering. Eat Street was a concept. It's been a concept for quite some time, but it was almost a bit apologetic. It was early on. It was just the blocked off road, and people were dining on the road on the slope, but near the gutters. And so this year, late last year, the council really put a big shift to do it professionally, do it properly, and they've done a stunning job. So the area is geothermally heated. We've got the retractable awnings, which will be completed in the next day or so, and it's a real feature for Rotorua. It's sensational.
So a bit of a coup you've got in here, and now they've gone and done this. You must be happy.
Yeah, very happy. There were plans for a long time that these things that the council was going to develop this area, so it made it a high priority target for us when we were looking for areas. But certainly we're very grateful to the council for it, and I think it does enhance Rotorua.
So what's the future got in store for Croucher Breweries?
The brewery itself is going through an interesting stage because we're trying to move. The brewery's in a tiny old sausage factory at the moment. It's embarrassing. But we've found a beautiful site in Kutukora, and just perfect for a brewery. So we're hoping to move there in the next month or so. And that should help underpin continuity of supply for these businesses, but also allow us access back into markets that we've perhaps neglected a little because we've focused so much on our pubs, and we've struggled for supply. So soon we should be able to tap that demand.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Oh, crikey. I guess we'd ask Rotorua to keep their fingers crossed for the New Zealand Beer Awards, which are coming up shortly. We've got about 6 beers entered, and they're a nice stable of beautiful fresh beers, so we're hoping to come away with a fistful of medals.
Tell me more about that. I was going to wrap it up here, but we want to keep talking about that now.
Oh, it's neat. The craft beer industry in New Zealand has exploded over the last 15, 20 years, and the Brewers Guild is our professional association, if you like, and they get together every year to celebrate the best beers in New Zealand, and there's different categories for any sort of beer. So if you're a Tui or if you're a Croucher Pilsner, there will be a different category for you to compete in, and so you can celebrate everybody's success, and if the beers are really, really good, they get a chance to get some medals.
Nice. So tell me about the 6 beers that you've got in there.
Oh, we've kind of run out of fingers, but we've got our coffee stout, which we like to call an Ethiopian pale ale, but it messes with people's heads too much. We roast the coffee ourselves on the premises. Our pilsner, which is a Czechoslovakian-inspired pilsner, but using a lot of New Zealand hops. Our pale ale, which is a long story, but that's inspired by the craft beer that really started the American craft beer revolution. We've got our ANZUS IPA, which is a nod to the ANZUS Alliance, but it's using Australia, New Zealand and US aroma hops. Beautiful big beer, one to get yourself in trouble with. What else have we got? Our lowrider, 2.7%, what we call an IPA India Pale Ale. So we're trying to make a session beer that tastes like a big, powerful beer, and won a gold last year, so that was pretty neat. I didn't tell you about the others' accolades, and I'm sure there's another somewhere in there.
Oh, wow. That sounds very exciting. And congratulations on the success you've had so far. That's absolutely wonderful.
Thanks.
This might be the next place I come when I want a night out. Thank you so much, Paul.
Cheers. Thanks for coming.
Kia ora.
Well, for the last year, you may have seen the Chief Shepherd cruising around on his bikes here in Rotorua, and I'd like to introduce you to Roger Martin, who is causing a bit of a stir in our city with regards to the success you're having with your new business here called Happy You Cycle Tours.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It is a bit of a laugh, and it's an awesome experience. I love it.
So where did the inspiration come from to start your own cycle tours?
It was actually, I just came back from London, and I needed to do something, and so I thought, well, buy some bikes and see what happens. So I bought some bikes, bought 7 at once, and away we went.
And away you went, yeah. And you've been going for a year, so how's it all been going?
It's been great. It's, with TripAdvisor's been such a great area for me to deal with, and I'm number 2 in Rotorua and number 2 in the North Island, so I'm pretty happy and pretty stoked after a year. Awesome.
Yeah. Now, when you say number 2, is that the most popular tourist adventure item to do?
Yeah, the things to do in all of the North Island sort of thing. So not including the attractions, but for the activities, yeah, number 2 out of 820 at the moment. So I'm stoked.
That's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
So tell me a little about your tour and where you go and how long it takes.
Cool. So we started at the ice site. It's about a 3-hour tour from the ice site to Ohinimutu, and then from Ohinimutu we head into Kudo Park, back into Ohinimutu, and then along the lakefront, around Sulphur Point, and back into Polynesian Spa. From Polynesian Spa, then we head into the government gardens and back to the ice site. It's about 27 locations in 3 hours. So
did you have to brush up on your the local history of Rotorua?
Yeah, definitely did. I read a lot of books when I came back from London, so learned a lot. And Rotorua has an incredible history, and not too many people know about how fascinating it actually is. We've got an amazing story to tell, and
What's the reaction from your clientele when you get back here? Are they all hot and sweaty, or overloaded with information?
If they're hot and sweaty, they've done something wrong. So they've loved it. they're also fascinated with what's happened in Rotorua and what we've done, what we've achieved over the last sort of 120 years. So it's really impressive, and they enjoy it and they loved it. So yeah.
I guess the big question, Roger, is are you making money?
I am at this point. People tell me that making a profit in your first year is pretty good. I made a profit in my first year, so I'm pretty happy.
Cool, congratulations.
Thank you, I can't complain.
Now, where did the actual name Happy You and your logo come from?
So basically I needed an image when I was, like I said, I was really jet lagged coming back from London. I needed to find an image, and I was just basically surfing around on the net looking for an image, and found the wee sheep, and it worked. And I was trying to work it out between like a sheep or a chicken, and thinking of a name. And basically, I like the sheep because it looks nice, it looks cute, and basically I went with the sheep because I was thinking happy something, happy choice as tours, happy tours, happy ram, happy you, and then I was like, right, it's a play on words, so that works.
Now, you seem like a pretty happy-go-lucky chap there, Roger. Do you think that sort of attitude and the way that you do things works in your business?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. I think as long as you engage quite with the client and actually make them feel like $1 million, I think that's what helps and works. And I'm fortunate because I genuinely quite like talking to people. So on the tour I get to talk with people and learn about them. They learn about me and Rotorua and things like that. So being outgoing definitely helps. Definitely helps.
What about forming relationships with other tour operators in town? And obviously there's got to be some form of collaboration somewhere where it's both mutually beneficial.
Well, the other tour operators in town have been awesome. Particularly, they've been great just to talk to and get ideas off, because I'm new to this whole business concept, and they've been in the industry. They know how it works, and it's been awesome to just sort of brainstorm and get ideas out of them, and really, really helpful. So they've been great.
What do you do on a rainy day?
Go for a ride if anyone wants to. It shows Rotorua from another perspective, and it's kind of nice too, because Rotorua has a very interspersed rain. It doesn't always just pour, it actually stops and starts. So you get time to see stuff, and then you get under an umbrella if you need to, but it's very rarely do we get caught in rain, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's been nice meeting you, Roger. Good luck with the rest of the year, because we know that it's in the quiet season at the moment, but as soon as it comes into summer, I'm sure you'll get busier. This has already been one of my busiest months, so I think summer's going to be absolutely nuts. Awesome. Good luck with that, man.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Pleasure.
Well, unfortunately here in New Zealand, and especially here in Rotorua, we have a very high teenage suicide rate, especially amongst young Māori men. Now, there is some things that we can do, and one of the persons who's behind one of the big suicide prevention initiatives here in Rotorua is joining me today, Ariana Cudby. Thanks for joining us today, Ariana. Now, before we get into suicide prevention, how did you get involved with Haka for Life, and what is it?
I wrote a song in Te Reo Māori, and it was about my cousin Tegan, who had passed away. And in that experience, Mike King asked me to join him and share my song with everybody.
So before Mike asked you to be involved, do you know who he was and what he did?
I just knew him as the guy on TV who did the poor cats.
Yeah, the poor guy. Yeah. So did you know anything about him being a comedian?
Not at the time, but as I got to know him, I found out his background, and yeah.
So it's pretty exciting that a New Zealand celebrity asked you to be involved with teen suicide prevention.
Yeah, it was very exciting for me.
Yeah. So tell me about Haka for Life.
I was asked by Mike King and Tai Tupou to complete a 90-day challenge, and that was to raise $1,000 in 90 days for the Key to Life Charitable Trust, another charity trying to target zero on suicide.
So what was involved in this 90 days?
Well, I decided to create a page that kept the te reo alive also, and one that would go viral. So I created the Haka for Life.
Yeah, wow, awesome. And did it?
Yeah, we've had a lot of kapahaka put on our page, or haka. Yeah, it's pretty big.
And how much did you raise in that 90 days?
I have around $300 to $400 at the moment, so not at the target, but I'm getting there. So
your target's $1,000. Do you think you'll make it?
I'm hoping I will. Yeah. I've got hope in myself that I will. So.
Cool. What was your mum and dad's reaction when they found out that Mike King got hold of you to be involved in the Key to Life Charitable Trust?
was actually quite blown away that kind of famous, well-known celebrity in New Zealand got a hold of her daughter. So, yeah.
Are they pretty proud of you?
They're very proud of me. I know they are.
How about the reaction from your friends?
One of my friends keeps posting on my page #famous. I don't consider myself famous. Just well-known, I suppose. So yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Overwhelmed. I never thought I'd come to this day where I'd be getting interviewed, and yeah.
Well, it's for a good cause, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
very good cause.
Absolutely. Now, this week you're involved heavily again with Mike King and Tai when they come to Rotorua. What sorts of things are you going to be doing this week?
I tend to open up their show. Before they're speaking, I open up their show with a song that I'll be accompanied by my friend Kapi, and we'll be sharing a song that we wrote called Life Path.
Cool. Tell me about that. It sounds quite interesting.
It's a song we based on our life, so each verse describes a life path that we've been through, so yeah.
Now obviously we can't sing here on TV Rotorua, but if you have an example or a couple of verses that you could share with us, that would be really cool.
Sure. Open up your eyes to the life that's ahead. Don't look back, look forward instead. And
wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Great voice. So how's that going to make you feel when you're up on stage performing for these two New Zealand celebrities?
I am excited already, but it's for a good cause once again, getting the word of suicide out there. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Now obviously you've had your personal experience like you said at the start. How does that make you feel now that you're involved, knowing that you've had friends that have taken their own lives?
I take my experience with it seriously, but I deal with it through my music, and I think helping other people makes me feel better about myself, and to know that I could prevent suicide or help prevent suicide in youth around Rotorua and everywhere is great.
At the end of this experience, what are your hopes and dreams? What are your ambitions for Key to Life Charitable Trust?
Mine would be to put end to youth suicide and suicide around the whole country, to try and prevent it and to get it out there as much as we can so it stops happening.
Yeah. What do you think the key is to stopping these sorts of things?
I think getting the message out there is a really big one, and being there and talking to your kids or anybody who's having doubts about themselves, is just being there and talking to them and letting them know that they can open up to you is a great way to overcome it. So.
Now on top of all this, do you think you're going to have a possible career in the music industry?
I'm hoping to, if I don't go to, if music doesn't work very well for me, I'm going to turn to law, so.
So you got a backup plan.
Yeah.
All right, Ariana, I appreciate your time, and all the best with your tour with Mike and Tai. It's going to be a good experience for you. I really hope you have a good time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And that was Adriana Cudby speaking with Alan Solomon. And for more information on the talks, you can visit Key to Life, one word, keytolife.org.nz. And if you have a news event TV Rotorua can support, call our office and talk to one of our friendly team on 07 34 88 984, or of course you can email us at news@tvrotorua.co.nz. And if you missed anything in tonight's show, you can watch it again at tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for having us at your place. From all the team here at City News, for Mo.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.